Number 1. Bob Marley. On December 3rd, 1976, 6 gunmen arrived at Bob Marley's home in Kingston, Jamaica, and opened fire. According to David Smugglewitz's biography, The Words and the Music of Bob Marley, multiple people were shot with submachine guns, including the reggae legend wife and manager. Marley himself had a bullet graze his sternum and lodge in left bicep. Amazingly, no one was mortally wounded. 2 days later, Marley proceeded with a live performance at Smile Jamaica, a free concept aimed to ease political tensions at the time. Many believe that the assassination attempt was politically motivated, but the singer tried to remain steadfast in his belief that the music was a healing force. "When me decided to do this ye concept, me was told there was no politics," he told the crowd. "I just wanted to play for the love of the people." Number 2. Trace Adkins. Trace Adkins had certainly lived the kind of life to justify his self-description as a tough guy. Recovered alcoholic's battle scars including surviving a major car accident and being stranded on an offshore oil rig during a hurricane. Perhaps the wildest ordeal was in 1994 when his second wife shot him with a .38 pistol. The bullet pierced his lungs and heart. The doctors held a little hope that I would survive and told my family and friends to go in and say goodbye. He wrote in his 2007 autobiography, A Personal Stand, Observations and Opinions from a Free-Thinking Roughneck, via Today. Alas, Adkins survived and declined to press charges. Number 3. 50 Cent. Most rap fans know the story of how 50 Cent survived a horrific attack in the 2000s, but the details of the incident never fails to leave first-time listeners stunned. 50 was sitting in a car when he was shot 9 times at close range with a 9mm handgun. The bullet struck his hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest, and left cheek. According to Hot 97, a bullet fragment remains lodged inside his mouth, giving the rapper his distinct slur. The alleged shooter, Mike Tyson's ex-bodyguard and close friend Darryl, Homicide Baum, was shot and killed a few months later. Number 4. Oliver Stone. The famed director of Platoon drew from his own experience in the Vietnam War to inform his work as a filmmaker. Stone served in 1967 to 1968, where he has twice wounded in combat. "I have been wounded and advocated twice," he wrote in a July 2020 edition, The Mail on Sunday. "The first when a piece of shrapnel went clean through my neck in a night ambush. The second after daylight enemy ambush, where shrapnel from a charge planted in a tree penetrated my legs and buttocks." Stone received the Purple Heart for his sacrifice. Number 5. Jennifer ONeill. Brazilian-American model Jennifer ONeill was a sensation in the 1960s, appearing on the covers of Vogue and Cosmopolitan, and starring alongside John Wayne in her first lead role as an actress. In 1982, the brunette beauty survived a shooting at her own hands. "It was an accident. I hate guns." "It was an accident. I hate guns," ONeill told Fox News in 2019. "I went up to our bedroom and my son was having dinner with the nanny. I noticed that the safe keep in the closet was wide open. When I looked closer, there was my husband's gun laying in the bowl of bullets. I was so furious because my son could have easily reached it. I picked up what turned out to be a .38 caliber and it went off," she continued. "It shot through my hip and stomach. But again, God saved my life. I could have been completely paralyzed. God has been protecting me all these years." Number 6. Peter Fonda. The late actor Peter Fonda lived to the age of 79, but his life was almost cut short much sooner. In 1951, the Easy Rider star accidentally shot himself with a .22 caliber pistol. Fonda allegedly recounted the story to members of the Beatles while they were tripped on acid together in the 1960s, but he was promptly told to stop talking. "I told George Harrison there was nothing to be afraid of, and all that he needed to do was relax," Fonda said. "I said that I knew what it was like to be dead, because when I was 10 years old, I accidentally shot myself in the stomach, and my heart stopped beating 3 times while I was on the operating table because I lost so much blood." "We didn't want to hear about that," said Lennon. "This guy, who I really didn't know, kept coming over, wearing shades, saying, 'I know what it's like to be dead,' and we kept leaving him because he was so boring." Number 7. Megan Thee Stallion. In July 2020, the hot girl rapper made a startling revelation on Instagram. "On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me," she wrote in a public note. "I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive, that I'm expected to make a full recovery, but it was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night." Rapper Tory Lanez was later charged for the crime. As of August 2021, pending his criminal case, his bail was increased after violating a court order to stay away from Megan. Number 8. Lil Wayne. Rapper Lil Wayne says he was so dedicated to pursuing a rap career that he once almost ended his life over it. At 12, he shot himself in the chest, narrowly missing his heart. According to Billboard, he initially told people that the wound was the result of an accident. He later admitted it was a failed suicide attempt after his mother forbade him from rapping. "So I picked up the phone, I called the police," he said in an Uncomfortable Conversations interview. "Yes, I knew where she kept her gun, and it was in her bedroom. And so I went in her bedroom, grabbed the gun. I already made the phone call, looked in the mirror. How I knew I had mental health problems was I pulled the trigger." Number 9. David Ortiz. In June 2019, retired Boston Red Sox star David Ortiz was shot in the back at the bar in the Dominican Republic. Retired Boston Red star David Ortiz was shot in the back at the bar in the Dominican Republic. Investigators determined that the incident was a botched attempt to murder his friend, Sixto David Fernandez. The player, known affectionately as Big Papi, underwent 3 surgeries and a 7-week-long hospital stay but survived the ordeal. "Being at home and look at my family celebrating that I'm here safe is priceless. Thank for all the prayers," he said in his first public statement after the shooting. Number 10. Kelly Preston. Before marrying John Travolta, the late Kelly Preston had a year-long romance with Charlie Sheen. During that time, she was shot in the arm. Incredibly, Sheen was not at fault for the injury. "She lifted my pants off the scale in the bathroom, and the tiny revolver I used to carry, it fell off the back jeans pocket and hit the floor, and shot a bullet right between her legs," Sheen explained in his defense. "So, she got hit with the shrapnel from the toilet bowl. For years, people thought there was always this discussion about the time I tried to kill Kelly Preston.